Okay, so I've got to repair. I got the hood to stay down on the Mazda. I took down I took off the bumper, moved the radiator up a little bit, so now the hood shuts completely. And then I was like, all right, so I'm gonna go get some new tires. I'm like, the cheapest place is over in Stockton, so I'll go over there. And I'm on a spare tire, and I just popped a second tire. The car next to me has a penis on it. Interesting. Yeah! Okay, so I got the tire filling stuff. Of course it didn't work, and I'm sitting there like, I gotta call tire places, and I call one that's like mile and a 1.7 miles away, and I'm like, yeah, you got my kind of tires? You sell used tires? And they're like, we do sell used tires. We don't have your used tires. They're like $85 plus tax per tire, and I'm like, ooh, I got 105. Literally exactly 105. I was like, okay, well, if they're $35 a tire, and I got a quote over the phone at the place in Stockton, so they're like, no, sorry. I was like, do you know any other place that does? They're like, no. And I looked up online, did a little more Googling, found another place, called them up. I was like, do you guys have used tires? They're like, yeah, well, absolutely. I was like, you got my size? They're like, oh, we got a shitload of them. I was like, sick. They're like $35 to $45 per tire. I'm like, okay, I could do that, and I go and get the tires. And sorry, there was a po-po. And I pay exact change. I've got 50 cents left. I'm like, all right, I'm going to put a little bit of air in my tires before I go. And the machine says $1.50, and people are like, oh, you have to get gas if you're going to get air. I was like, oh. And I just, I was like, well, I got 50 cents. Is it going to take 50 instead of $1.50? And I put 50 cents in, and it turned on. And I was like, oh! So I partially filled up the tire, and then scrambled to get in the car, and then realized I still had to look up the address. So I jumped back out and tried to fill up the tire more, because it's like shooting air out. And then I went in, I got in the car, hopped on the road, went the 2.5 miles to the tire place, rolled up, made it successfully. Don't have a quarter to spare. Everything worked out perfectly. I had saved, that extra $10 just in case for gas, and then it worked for the tire filling stuff to get me to the, so I didn't ruin my rims. All this good stuff. So we're on our way back. Tomorrow I gotta return from some of the O'Reilly stuff, and then I'm gonna get brakes on this guy. So new tires, new brakes, get them all prepped for the sale. I'm gonna have to find seats though. I'll probably have to drive down to Las Vegas to get seats. I don't know. There's gotta be a pick and pull close. It'll be another adventure. But we'll make it. We'll make it. Alright, so I've emptied out the van. I'm gonna pull out a few more things, maybe lay some flooring today, try to sand out some rust, get out these middle divider things, these right here, so I'll remove that, and then we'll see what's under the plywood, which I've taken it out once. It doesn't look too bad, but so I had some holes on the outside. I kind of just did some caulking and some pennies. And I kind of just follow suit that there's a ton caulking pennies and we'll make it work. That's under the bed, so whatever. It's coming out. Look at that square line. Alright, update on the flooring. It's going pretty well. Looking pretty good. So we'll see it when it's finished. Alright, the floor is done. Looking good. And then I've got one more piece which will go right here. This final piece in the bottom fits perfectly right here. I'll just have to cut it off a little around the track. Good stuff, good stuff. I'll have the two lights hooked up in series, which will go to a switch right here. Got a wall outlet which goes back to the battery. And another wall outlet that goes back to the battery. Had a little help from the family, from my mom and my sister. We got some insulation in. I'll end up putting veneer or plywood up on the walls next. I've got kind of the lights kind of positioned out, hopefully. I was gonna have fans, but now they're turning into lights. But yeah, cool stuff coming along. Oh, and here's it's gonna be the walls and the ceiling. So here I am thinking stovetop, have a little sink, we've got the an outlet and a light switch, and then we'll have little doors that open, and I'll have my clothes that I can hang up there, or I might move all that over if I can, except this light's kind of in the way, but I do want to fit I want like a pantry right here, and then my clothes. And then I'll have a little desk that I can sit at and work at. And I'll also have a desk over here that's movable that I can move here and use as like my cutting board when I've got my stovetop and my sink. Vents on the door, and probably a vent there or something. Yeah, well, it's coming along. Got this thing that I don't know what to do with.